Hello everyone, I'm Ashis. I'm going to present our paper MedCV, an interactive visualization system for patient cohort identification from medical claim data. Medical claim is a set of medical codes summarizing a patient visit used by medical provider for billing purposes. Here you can see an example of a patient. Suppose the patient had chronic disease, blood count, or diabetic, and there is a medical codes for those disease. So this is an example of a medical claim for a single patient. The claim data also used in medical research for analyzing disease, treatments, and outcomes. A major first step in the research study is cohort selection, which means identifying all patients with a particular property. Medical codes can be used to define the rules for cohort selection. However, there are thousands of medical codes like ICD-9 or CPT codes. That's why it becomes very difficult for any human to decide which codes to identify patients of interest. Suppose we want to find a cohort of patients who have received chemotherapy. Then we need to find medical codes for chemotherapy. Here is a list of chemotherapy codes. Then the question is, how can we find the related codes for chemotherapy? We can search in the internet, but it is a time-consuming process. For this reason, we develop a visual system where a user can find codes which could be used as an inclusion rule for a cohort selection. We also aim to allow users to explore individual claims to get a better insight about this code. We also provide a user to view a patient timeline to get further understanding about patient selection. So we extract medical code sequences from claim data, and then we use a skipgram model on the sequence of claim data to learn embeddings or vector of medical code. Then we use the cosine distance between the medical code vectors to find the similarity or similar codes. We also use like the pointwise mutual information or PMI for the same purpose. Here you can see an overview of our software. In this backend, we have this training process, and after that, we have this interactive system that contains different views like query view, table view, scatter view, claim view, and selected code view. A user will start from the query view, then they will operate some options. Finally, they will reach on the selected code view. Now I'm going to show the demo of our software.
Hello everyone, welcome to our software demo. To demo the software, suppose we are looking for a patient cohort who has taken chemotherapy. We can start to type chemo or the code of the chemotherapy in this box. Here you can see a list of code here. Suppose I select the 96411. Now if I click on this view, then it will show this top 30 nearest neighbor codes for this given chemotherapy code 96411. So there are also some options like code type like ICD-9 or CPT. Suppose I select the CPT and click on this view, then I will get the top 30 codes over there. So here you can see this top 30 codes in this projection view and in this table view. And this given query code is here with black border. If you keep your mouse over this code, then you will get a short description of the PMI value, frequency, and code description. Here we use different size based on the number of patients who has this code. And we use different colors based on the first 3 digits of the code. Like 964 has this green color, 965 has this yellow color. Here also some code has like this underscore of value, which means they have like the low PMI value. For example, here. This type of code is interesting because high cosine distance means codes are sharing the same context, where high PMI means codes come together. So from this projection view, you can see like which code is close and which code is not. In this table view, you can also see the same result, but there is option to sort this value based on this cosine distance value or PMI value. For example, here I sort it based on this PMI value. Then I can go back to my previous view with this cosine distance value. There is also three different types of frequency number for the code. For example, this patient frequency code. It means how many patients has this code 96409 in our data set. This is like the claim frequency. It means how many times this code has in our claim numbers. And this one is showing the both this query code 96411 and this table code come together 800 times in the claim. And there is the descriptions. Our goal is like from this value selecting code which is related to this chemotherapy. For example, you see this first one like 96411, which is chemotherapy, and our query code, you can add this one in your selected code list. Here you can also see the selected patient number for this selected code. Now suppose you are also interested to add the another code 96409 and 96417. In this way you can add this code. Now suppose you see this 964 codes are very much related to the chemotherapy, so you want to see all the 964 code, then you can go over this filter option and it will show all this 964 code in our data set. So from here you can easily select the code. Now if you go back to our previous screen, then you can go and see these things. And some points, this cosine distance value and PMI value should not be sufficient for the making decision. So you may be interested to explore this code to see in a real claim data or in a real patient data. For example, this code 96523. So if you click on this explore button, then it will show some random claims in a projection view. And if you mouse over on this point, then you will see this query code and the selected codes who is actually used in the claim. If you mouse over on these things, you will see these things. Now, if you click on one point of the claim, then you will see the patient timeline who has this claim 48. So if you click on this OK buttons, then here you will see this patient view. And in this patient view, this blue color is like the claim that we selected, this number 4040, and this 40 claims is showing here in this blue color. And from this patient timeline, you can see like what happened before this blue color or before this claim number of 40. And from this view, you will get a view like what happened previous, what happened next to this patient. Here you can also see the top 5 frequent codes with frequency for this patient. And here you can also see the timeline, the claim list of this patient based on the sorted by the date. So the purpose is like from going in depth to understand this code, selected code or this query code is coming together and what happened or not happened. And this will like helping you to make decisions like if you want to add this one or not. Now, if you go back your previous screen, then you can decide like if you want to add this 96523 or not. Finally, when you will have this list of the code, then you can click on this button of the save result, which will save this file in your drive. And if you click on this file, then you will see the selected code list. So this concludes a demo of our cohort identification software. Thanks for your attention.